Ethereum is the world's second largest cryptocurrency. Its powerful smart contracts and proven track record have established it as the leading chain for DeFi, stablecoins, and tokenized real-world assets. But what occurs to these assets and services if ETH were to reach zero? A recent report analyzes precisely that scenario, and the answer is genuinely frightening. Today we'll break down this report in straightforward terms and reveal just how concerned you should be about this possibility. My name is Alex and you're watching Web3 Verse. Before starting, I'm not providing financial guidance and nothing here constitutes investment recommendations. This is educational material about a recent Ethereum-focused report. If that interests you, hit that like button and let's begin. Together, these incentivize validators to join the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum validators need between 32 and 48 ETH to operate. This ETH is staked and validators monitor each other for suspicious activity. If a bad actor is caught, their stake is slashed and burned, resulting in a financial penalty. This system deters misconduct, though malicious validators could still cause damage if enough colluded. That said, a bad actor would need over 50% of the validator network, known as a 51% attack, which thankfully is practically impossible. The report notes this would require at least 17 million ETH, costing over 56 billion at today's prices. In short, it's not happening. The report references Lido Finance as a case study of validator concentration since its validators account for a quarter of all staked ETH. The report then provides a chart of Lido's profitability from January 2023 to July 2025. During that period, Lido's annual percentage rate fell from a 9% peak to just 3% as network congestion eased and competition among validators increased. This ties into the second part of the report, which examines how ETH's price affects validator activity. Since Ethereum's launch in 2015, there have been countless catalysts that pushed ETH's price up or down. The report notes that in 2015 ETH was trading between 50 cents and $2. ETH hit an all-time high in November 2021, though it slightly surpassed that in August 2025, peaking just under $5,000 in both cases. Even after the 2021 high, ETH fell below $1,000 during the bear market. Despite this volatility, the number of Ethereum validators has steadily risen, which the report attributes to two main reasons. First, it notes that so-called unbacked cryptos like Ethereum are driven mostly by investor confidence since there are no traditional fundamentals to anchor the price. Second, whenever the validator pool shrinks, staking rewards rise. Higher rewards attract new validators, keeping validator growth relatively stable so long as ETH's price increases over time. But here's where things get interesting. The report notes that even a drop in ETH's price likely won't result in a massive validator exodus. That's simply because even during bearish market conditions, validators and investors still have confidence that ETH will recover eventually. But what if this confidence was no longer there? The report poses a few possible triggers that could cause a loss of confidence in Ethereum. These include internal problems such as Ethereum's governance resulting in slow progress or even regression. Another possibility is if there's a massive loss in confidence in Bitcoin or the broader crypto industry. Alternatively, a rival blockchain could emerge that clearly outperforms Ethereum across every possible metric, including scalability, speed, cost, and reliability. Outside of crypto, another reason why investors and validators could lose faith in Ethereum is if there are major macro shocks like escalating global conflicts or if another technology is developed that turns out to be even more effective than blockchain. The worst part is that any of these factors could trigger a chain reaction, further eroding confidence in Ethereum. If ETH's price starts plummeting but there's no confidence it will recover, the most obvious outcome is that validators would race to unstake their ETH to sell it. Not only would this crash ETH's price even more, but it would also result in far fewer validators in the short term. In the report's words, no validators means that the network does not work anymore. Users could keep submitting transactions but those would never be settled. Assets would still live on-chain but they would be immovable. To clarify, the report points out that this process would be gradual thanks to unstaking periods, but Ethereum's security could be hit immediately nonetheless. That's because cheaper ETH makes it easier to gain enough power to run malicious validators. And with more honest validators going offline, attacking the network becomes far easier. Notably though, ETH wouldn't be the primary target in this scenario because it would quickly become worthless. Instead, attackers would focus on other major assets likely less affected by Ethereum's collapse, like stablecoins and tokenized real-world assets, especially if issuers are legally required to redeem them at face value. The report notes that if something like this happened, Ethereum's future would hinge on investor confidence in the aftermath. There's no way to know exactly how it would play out. But the crypto industry has repeatedly shown an incredible ability to pick itself up and carry on. Then again, the crypto industry has never seen the failure of truly core infrastructure before. Sure, we've had major collapses like Mt. Gox, FTX, and the Terra Luna debacle, but since so much of the industry runs on Ethereum, a breakdown that would make those failures look minor. The report reiterates that there are mitigation strategies in place, but even they have limits. The first is the unstaking process. Normally, unstaking takes about 28 hours. But this period lengthens as more validators join the queue since there's a daily withdrawal limit. In fact, in September 2024, the exit queue hit its longest ever at around 46 days, almost 7 weeks. Still, this system buys. Think stablecoins dropping well below $1 or tokenized real estate trading far below its real-world value. And of course, the money locked in DeFi protocols would be pretty much wiped out either due to sudden withdrawals or massive liquidations of projects or investors that took out leveraged positions. With that, we've reached the end of this report. For now though, you're probably wondering how likely it is that ETH could in fact go to zero. Well, the short answer is not very likely at all. While the report raises multiple concerns worth considering, they're honestly overblown. As mentioned earlier, attacking a major chain like Ethereum would require a bad actor to control over 50% of the network. This would cost billions of dollars in ETH alone, not to mention the cost for the hardware needed to pull it off. This is why decentralization is such a powerful security measure, and Ethereum happens to be one of the most decentralized blockchains in the world, second only to Bitcoin. In short, malicious validators aren't breaking Ethereum anytime soon. You may also be wondering if a competing chain like Solana could overtake Ethereum with its speed and efficiency, but there are 3 major obstacles here. First, Solana has a spotty track record for going offline. Second, it doesn't dominate key corners of the crypto industry like Ethereum does. And third, and perhaps most importantly, Solana's speed comes at the cost of decentralization. Solana has a few thousand active validators, while Ethereum has almost 1 million active validators. That is a huge difference. Investor and validator confidence in Ethereum is actually incredibly strong, at least in recent months. Ethereum's validator exit queue recently hit 0, which literally means no validators are going offline. At the same time, demand for ETH staking has soared. If that doesn't spell confidence, I don't know what does. Most importantly, institutions are desperate to tokenize their real-world assets. But to do this, they want the most reliable, secure, and liquid smart contract blockchain. It's no wonder then that Ethereum hosts the lion's share of RWAs. And as Ethereum rolls out major hard fork upgrades, it becomes an even more attractive option for institutional and retail investors alike. Ethereum isn't going to zero today, tomorrow, or anytime soon. In fact, it seems to be doing the opposite. With every upgrade and development, Ethereum grows stronger, and it's only a matter of time before ETH's price reflects this. Yes, this report was worth the read. And yes, these scenarios are possible hypothetically. In practice though, it's probably best to take this report with a huge grain of salt. That's enough from me. Now it's time to hear from you. Are you worried about Ethereum's future, or are you stacking ETH as we speak? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching Web3verse, and I'll see you in the next one.